There is a such thing as information overload in the Islamic community. And I think at this point, the last thing that we need is a lecture. I'm just being honest with you, man. Unless you a new convert and you have yet to acclimate yourself to Islam, I think that probably the last thing that we need at this point is a lecture. I'm just being honest, which is why I don't lecture anymore. You don't see me on Periscope. You don't see me on Facebook Live giving no more lectures. I'm done with that. The last thing that we need at this point is a lecture. There's a such thing as information overload. And the information is not the problem. It's the practical implementation of the information in a manner that produces healthy results. Right? I put a post on Instagram the other day. Shout out to my man Seth. You know what I mean? No disrespect to him, but I said, what is the problem with our dysfunction? And the brother, he put, we need more seminars. And I'm like, more seminar? Like, we're not going to fix this problem with another lecture or seminar. We're not going to fix these problems with lectures. That's not going to fix the problem. As a matter of fact, information overload is what got us into this dysfunction to begin with. And I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you how. All right? We are overloading the Muslim community with information about sometimes trivial matters of the religion. Information overload, right? We're bombarding you with new information about the religion, such intricacies of the religion that, that just really is really not necessary for the average 9-to-5 Muslim. Doesn't need the religion on that level. I think sometimes when students of knowledge leave Medina or leave Egypt or wherever they study from and come back to America, they're still in this mode of thinking that everybody else is like them. The average 9-to-5 everyday working Muslim does not need, the intricacies of the religion on a level that a student of knowledge has learned it. But the student of knowledge doesn't figure that out until 20 years later. 20 years down the line, he kind of realizes that, went through these books back and forth, and still there is no practical implementation of all of this information that you are dishing out to the community. It's unnecessary. It really is. And I think that we create more lectures and we create work to avoid the real work. I think that we create work to avoid the real work. Just real talk. I think that we create lectures and that we go into such intricate details of the religion because we can distract you with that, because in reality, we really don't have nothing else to offer. I'm just speaking facts here. Stop me when I deviate. I just think that we create work so we don't have to do the real work. It's like a husband at home who always got something to do because he doesn't want to do what he's supposed to be doing as a husband. And that's showing emotional attention to his wife, spending time with his kids. So he creates things to do that is a diversion, and is a distraction from the real work of a husband. I'm just, I'm just saying what it is. And I just think that a lot of students, they don't have nothing else to offer. That's all they have. So when we done with one book, we jump into another book. And meanwhile, the whole community is dysfunctional right in front of you. All this dysfunction going on right in front of you. And the next thing that you want to do is jump into another book. I'm teaching this class next. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. You create work so you can avoid the real work. I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the second set of ayahs that was revealed to him, Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, qum fa'anzir. Oh, you wrapped in garments, get up and warn. Meaning the work was outside of the house. Get out of the house, right? Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, qum fa'anzir. Get up, oh you wrapped in garments. Get up and go out and warn, meaning the work was outside of the home. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhal mudaththir, he became a messenger. He was a prophet with Iqra. Iqra, bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. When Allah revealed Iqra, that he became a prophet. As Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab mentions in his book, Nubbi'a bi Iqra, that he became a prophet with Iqra. Wa ursila bi mudaththir, and he became a messenger with mudaththir. Now, if you were sitting in a class with someone who is just reading this from a book, regurgitating to you, he wouldn't even be able to make the connection here. He wouldn't be able to make the connection. And this is part of the information overload problem, is that you're giving out information, but you're not showing people how to make the connection. They're not able to connect the dots. So what is the sense in you teaching class after class after lecture after lecture after lecture, and the people that you are teaching and preaching to are not able to make the connections with the information that you've given them? And then we just kind of overloading you with more and more and more and more information. And there's no practical implementation of the information in a manner that will produce healthy results. Look at how unhealthy our communities are. More speaking African American Muslim communities. Look at how dysfunctional and unspiritually unhealthy our communities are with all this information that is floating around our communities. Because there's dissemination without practical implementation in a manner that will produce healthy results. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, "Ma anta bimuhaddithin qawmin hadithin la tuballighuhu uquluhum illa kana li ba'dihim fitna." Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, very profound statement. He said that you will not narrate information to a person or to a people that which their intellects cannot conceptualize, except that that information will be a fitna for some of them. I'll say that again. Follow me. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that you will not narrate to people information about the religion that their intellects cannot conceptualize. لا تبلغهم عقولهم or تبلغه عقولهم, that their intellects cannot even conceptualize. They can't even conceptualize what you're saying. إلا كان لبعضهم فتنة, except that that information is going to be a fitna for some of them. We're speaking about all of these huge issues, fiqh issues, aqidah issues, deep issues of the religion, intricacies of the religion, to people who are literally functioning with a basic high school education. The average brothers and sisters that are sitting in the masjids, sitting, listening to these lectures, with all due respect, I would be exaggerating if I said that their level of education exceeds a high school diploma. I would be exaggerating. That their intellectual prowess does not exceed a high school education. Which is why when you're done with the lecture, there's a whole group of people waiting to ask you questions about things that you've already discussed. Misinterpreting, misunderstanding, and they walk away believing that they have some grasp, some major aspect of Islam, when in fact they are about to go lead somebody astray. They're going to go home, they're going to go to work tomorrow, they're going to tell their Muslim neighbor, yeah, I was sitting in a lecture yesterday and the Imam said this and you totally misconstrued the entire concept. And you're about to go lead somebody astray based upon some intricate matter of the religion that you thought you understood. And here you are functioning with a basic GED, a basic 10th grade education. I'm speaking facts, man. Stop me when I deviate, man. I'm just speaking facts, man. And we got these grandiose ideas of, I'm about to turn my Islamic community into, right? Where are you going, man? Where are you going? Where are you going? I'm just trying to figure out where are we going with this. Because year after year after year has gone by, and we are teaching these books, and we're not seeing any results, any healthy results. Any healthy results. We got Muslims pulling out guns on other Muslims, Muslims murdering other Muslims, Muslim children turning to, alternate lifestyles. And meanwhile, we teaching classes every day. Every day we teaching classes. Help me understand this. Am I going crazy? Help me understand this, please. The Prophet ﷺ, he made sure that when he instructed his emissaries, when he dispatched people to go to different places to teach people and call people to Islam, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. Because a lot of you listen to me with your own biases. You got one foot in the lecture and one foot just waiting for me to say something that you can't conceptualize. And then it's like, all right, what they've been saying about him is correct. You listen with your own biases, and that's very unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right. Nonetheless, because I'm gonna be honest with you, there's nothing like a street dude that is woke. There is no human being on the face of this earth like a street dude that is woke. They know both sides of the fence, man. And that's exactly what you guys have been, distracted from. The Prophet ﷺ, he made sure that when he instructed his emissaries to go teach people about Islam, that they paid attention to their progress before overloading them with more information that was beyond what they could understand. This is documented information. It's not stuff I'm pulling Yanim and JB. I'm not just pulling this stuff out of my pocket. These are documented hadith, authentic narrations. You understand? The Prophet ﷺ, when he dispatched people to go teach people about Islam, he made sure that when they taught people about Islam, that they paid attention to their progress. And that you don't give them more information until they have, shown some progression in what the little bit of information you've already given them. All right? I'll give you evidence for this. All right? When the Prophet ﷺ sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal to Yemen, he said to him, he instructed him before he sent him. He said, إِنَّكَ تَأْتِي قَوْمٍ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ. He said, you are going to a people from the people of the book. You're going to a people from a people of the book, meaning Jews and Christians, different religion. He said, فَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى الشَّهَادَةِ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَأَنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. He said, call them to La ilaha illallah, the concept of monotheism. There's nothing worthy of worship, no deity worthy of worship except Allah. وَأَنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ, and I am the messenger of Allah. He said, فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاؤُكَ لِذَلِكَ. If they adhere to that, فَأَعْلَمْهُمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ افترض عليهم خمس صلوات في كل ليلة في كل يوم وليلة. He said, if they accept that, meaning the concept of La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, if they accept that, this is talking about progression here, right? Monitor their progression. If they accept that, they're willing to accept that, then teach them that Allah has obligated upon them 5 prayers throughout the day and night. And فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاؤُكَ لِذَلِكَ. And if they accept that, then teach them that Allah has obligated upon them sadaqah, that is taken from the wealthy and given to the poor, meaning zakat. You see the gradual progression? So what is to be understood from this? If they did not grasp the concept of La ilaha illallah, do not move forward. Don't give them any more information. You guys follow me. It only makes sense. It's logical. It makes sense. So here we are today talking about jarh wa ta'dil. We're talking about matters, intricate matters of warning against this one and what scholars say and when you take a scholar statement and when you don't take a scholar. I mean, mind-blowing, mind-blowing. The subject of jarh wa ta'dil, of criticizing a narrator, this is a subject matter that on the Islamic University, on that complex, the Islamic University, out of the whole entire Islamic University, there's only one college that teaches jarh wa ta'dil for one semester, and that is in the College of Hadith. So all of these scholars and these, these knowledgeable people of this particular science, I'm trying to figure out, where in the world did you learn this science? Because if you didn't study in Islamic University and learn that science from that, and you have a degree to prove that you studied it and you passed it, I'm trying to figure out how, number one, where did you learn it? And number two, who qualified you to teach it? I'm just asking questions. I mean, please tell me, where did you learn jarh wa ta'dil? Because as far as my knowledge is concerned, out of the 5 colleges on the university campus, only students in the College of Hadith have studied that. And most of the brothers that you guys listen to and take information from didn't even graduate from the Islamic University. So I'm really confused. I am really, really confused. If you didn't study with a professor under a structured, academic regimen, and he has a paper saying that he's qualified based upon, some proficiency in that particular subject matter, who qualifies you to teach this? And then furthermore, who in the world said that the average American Muslims, 9 to 5, everyday working Muslims, should be taught this type of information? And believe it or not, you have scholars teaching this stuff, doing lectures on this stuff. We're doing telelinks. Like, this is how crazy, how insane this stuff is. You have students of knowledge who would hook up a telelink in the masjid and have a sheikh give a lecture in Arabic and translate it into the English language to everyday working 9 to 5 Muslims who don't even know how to recite Al-Fatiha properly. The Prophet ﷺ said to Mu'adh, teach them, the first thing you teach them is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاعُكَ لِذَلِكَ. If they obey you in that, meaning they accept that, then teach them about salat. So there was a progression there, monitoring how they were receiving this information. And you have scholars, so-called scholars in Saudi Arabia, who will give telelinks and give lectures about such intricacies of Islam, not even monitoring the people that you're talking to, understanding your crowd, understanding the people that you are addressing. You're talking about people who come from single parent homes. You're talking about people who come from broken homes, people who grow up in inner cities like Philadelphia, where, kids are being murdered, 13-year-old kids are being murdered. You're talking about a brutal society. And here you are giving lectures about some of the most intricate details of Islam. Is that fathomable? Would the Prophet ﷺ have even approved of something like that? It's shay mubki, stuff that will make you cry, man, when you sit back and you reflect on this stuff, man. And then you look at the end result of our communities. Look at the end result. Look at the end result of this overload of information into our communities, man. So, and the thing is that many students of knowledge, and rather than focusing on this, are more concerned with finding new, snazzy little concepts to disseminate, which will solidify their distinction as a student of knowledge, rather than concentrating on the basic information of Islam that is already out there. So, there's a plethora of information out there, but no inventory of how that information is being applied and the healthiness of the community with the information before we move on to the next phase. So now you got, Muslim converts who just, came home from jail, can barely read on a 5th grade level. And he's talking about some intricate matters of the deen, and then get mad at you when you tell him, brother, I don't, you talking off the wall over here. You're going against the scholars. It's like, dude, you got a 5th grade education. What do you mean going against the scholars, man? You could barely read on a 5th grade level, man. If I put some 5th grade math in front of you, wallahi, man, you wouldn't know how to answer that. And you sitting here telling me that I'm crazy because I'm not taking what you got to say. Dude, you talking off the wall, man. Then you get an attitude and I'm off it, I'm astray because I don't want to because I can't take you serious because you functioning with a 5th grade education because I don't want to take you serious. You got to be kidding me, man. So you have students of knowledge and imams and teachers are looking for new concepts to introduce to the community. I'm going to do a lecture on this and I'm going to do a lecture on that. Looking for ways to solidify your distinction, your miza. You looking for exclusivity, but you're doing it at the expense of furthering the confusion and the dysfunction of the Islamic community. Trying to stay relevant. Trying to solidify your distinction as a student of knowledge. Like, you don't have to do that. Just stick with the basics of Islam. Let's talk about good character. Talk about good character. How about that? Something very basic. Giving the greeting of salam. Let's talk about that. I mean, some of the brothers don't even know, just the basics of giving the greeting of salam. Good character. Which is my next point. We got the first point. I'm talking about the things that have contributed to the dysfunction that we are seeing in the Islamic community amongst African American Muslims. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.